Join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Mahoney?
Here.
Mr. Densmore?
Here.
Mr. Bucksky?
Here.
Mr. Oldman? Green? Here. Mr. Ripple?
Here.
Mr. Bassett?
Here.
Mr. Boyd?
Here.
Mr. Rain?
Here.
Mr. Gilbert?
Here.
Ms. Lee? Here.
I would announce at this point that prior to our meeting here this evening, we held an executive session for personnel reasons. So it takes us to number 2, amendments. We've got a list of amendments there that you can see. In addition to those, I'd like to add 9F, which would be a retirement resolution of Dr. Walker. And then there's 9G, appointment of an interim position. Someone would like to make the motion to add those?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Rick Road. Rick, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All righty. Meeting minutes.
Sam, I think I'm missing a page to the agenda.
It's on the back side.
I don't have.
You don't get it?
No.
Oh,
So is John.
you're bad, you guys. You like it? Just the 2 of them, or is everybody?
Missing 9, 10, 11.
I'll hurry over it. Copies.
I am.
We can get through the rest of the first page here. Yeah. So we've got meeting minutes for last meeting, so I'd like to move those.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion, approving the minutes? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Exemplary students. Yeah, I think it was Joe to be on there.
I am here
There he is.
very much for having me, and I'm sorry I'm not there this evening. Again, we have the exemplary students that report for you, but it really talks about the 3 students there: honor roll, perfect attendance, and distinguished students. The students we're very proud of them. We had 17% that had perfect attendance, 35% made honor roll for the 4th quarter, and distinguished students was 9%. In September, we'll have our exemplary dinner. Thank goodness that we're back to normal. We'll be able to honor those students that were distinguished for all 4 quarters, and I'll announce that come August time.
Do you want to carry on with the student of the month there for May?
The student of the month, Sam, of course, we'd like to just give those to you. Those were from May and just May. So again, we're really proud of the students there that make those honor roll, or student of the month.
Excellent, thank you, Joe. That takes us to guest and public comment. Anybody like to address the board? Is there anybody raising their hand online, please?
Yeah. Just to go back, I want to mention something. Last month, we met a young man by the name of Austin Garrity over in construction by Mr. Trippy. And I will tell you, I hired him and he's working out very well. He's a wonderful, wonderful asset, I will say. So, good kid.
Great.
Sam, if I can touch on the same thing, one of our sister companies just hired a student from McDowell who graduated from Tech Precision Machine. And he was so knowledgeable and did so well on his pre-employment testing, they hired him in at a labor grade 1 age, which is, you know, most of the time, 5-7 years experience before you get that way. It's possible.
Well, good. Well, shoot, since y'all are bragging, I have two graduates this year working with me. Fortunately or unfortunately, they're both going away to college.
Just pay them more, you know?
Actually, okay, let me rephrase that. Three, yeah, three, and one is done, one's staying full time. Happy about that. Life's good. All right, good little public comments there, even us being public comment. Important items coming to ECTS, do I have anything to add for that? Now we go under operations. We've got new business. The Act 93, we presented that to you here to be approved. And there's two pieces of that. We've got the attached also the hybrid AB day schedule just in case. We've already done the calendar for next year, but this is just a hybrid in case we would, for some reason, need to resort back to that. Hopefully not. Got the future ready comprehensive planning committees, and Joe's taking the lead on that. And there's a variety of things attached there. Got a textbook approval. Emergency instruction time section 520.1 for 2021-22. JOC declaration of health for public crisis implications, hybrid AB schedule, and the PSBA 21-22 policy maintenance and board docs. I think the fee, the invoice was attached to that. And under old business, still under operations, we've got procedure 126 projection data. The audit engagement letter, comprehensive insurance contract for 21-22, visa limits for 21-22, general fund budget transfers. So under that section, if somebody would like to move all of those.
Second.
Road second, you got that? Any discussion, any of those items?
Sam, under I, procedure 126, I know I missed the meeting in May, and I don't know if Joe is still on and he can hear me, but did we get any more enrollment updates? I mean, like, are we another +10 over the past 2 months?
We are right now with the programs of concern. I'd just like to let everybody know that 3 of those programs of concern will be operating as a full schedule next year because of the articles of agreement. Those 3 out of the 4 have passed a threshold of 24 students. So our articles of agreement with our teachers say they're allowed 24 per session. So graphic communications and precision machining, and of course culinary was moving to that full threshold. Those 2 graphics and precision machining have about 27 students in it. So we have to operate that as a whole day now to make sure that we don't go over that threshold. Tourism still struggling, but to answer the general question, we have picked up probably about 10 more students. And of course, that's just for the Erie County Technical School in that time frame.
Thank you, Joe.
Any other questions, on any of those items? If not, all those in favor of all those in this section, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Okay, financial item, business manager report. Paul.
Okay, we bring the report up to read into the record. I want to report as of the end of May. If you look at the upper top green block, you'll see that the general fund had these assets, these deposits, balances, the bank balance of $3,179,350.11. A little further in that report, you'll see when you add your revenues and expenses, we have year-to-date for May, the general fund revenue and expenditure summary, $1,848,206. And then if you look at the RCTC, excuse me, we have a total of $314,653 under the ECTS Capital Projects Fund, a balance of $907,060. And then the last portion is the student activities, as of the end of May, $24,936 in terms of that report. So that summarizes your financial reports. Attached to that, you should see the activities of my office, what we did. But I'd just like to point out that there was a question last month in terms of the bid for the plasma cutter. A question was raised about cooperative bidding. It so happened that Welders Supply and Lincoln Electric had looked at the possibility of participating in co-stars, and the application had been submitted quite a while ago. And during the course of the month, they did receive approval. So as a result of that, we had placed the order for that piece of equipment under co-stars. Also in my report, we have met with Erie Community College about the lease of the second floor of the Skills Center. They're very much interested in that. We're in the process of developing a lease, which we'll bring back to the JOC. But it seems like they would like to have a presence here in this part of the county. So they toured the facility twice and they like the space.
And all that time would be after the school, after our normal school day, because we have that leased already to the IU, I think.
It would be evening, the evening time that they would be renting the facility, and it should not interfere with the program that's over there that ends at 4 o'clock, which is the driving school, I think. Is that the grade school? The PA Pride. So it looks like it will be a good match.
So we will have that piece of equipment before school starts now then, right?
That is the plan. You're referring to the plasma cutter?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Any questions for Paul? You feel comfortable with, I mean, you're taking the lead on developing a lease when they're ready?
Yes, I already have put a draft out. They're going to return the draft, and then I'll have Mr. Senate look at that to make sure that we covered all of our bases.
Are they going to be good with just doing that in August? We don't have a meeting scheduled for July, so if we won't get that till the end of August, is that okay? We need to give you authorization.
They're looking to have their first session the first part of October.
So we'll probably be fine.
I think so. But I would have it, I think, back from them by the end of July. So if we were to have a meeting in July, I think it might be good.
Okay.
If we do rent to somebody on the second floor, just because I've not done this before, do they have to provide insurance or any damage to the building or things along those lines? Is that part of the lease automatically, or?
I don't remember the lease. We
They
already
would provide us with a certificate of insurance, yes,
Okay,
Right, maybe us additionally insured.
correct. And they will also be providing janitorial services and security services.
okay, thank you. You preemptively answered any question I have now.
Any other questions for Paul? If not, you've got A through G there. So if somebody wants to go for H and approve all of those items, I'd listen. Motion. Second. John, this side got it, sorry. Corey, second there. Any discussion, any questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Administrative Services and Human Resources. Let's take A through E. And then we have H, which is summer help, hiring, ratification, and hiring for the FMT instructor. Approve those, and the two items that we added, we'll come back to those and take those individually. So Somebody make a motion for all the other except for G and F and G in this section.
I'll make a motion.
Rick wrote, Terry second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. So under resignations, retirements, we have a resolution from Dr. Walker retiring on June 30th of this year. So I'd like to make the motion to approve that resolution.
Second.
By Terry, seconded by Rick Road. Any discussion?
Voice vote, please.
Just a voice vote? What'd you say? Yes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Carries 8-2. And retiring G, we have a motion to appoint Joe Tarasovich as our interim director, effective July 1st. I'd like to make the motion. Terry? Second. Boyd for second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Joe, if you're still on there, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. And again, moving the school forward, I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Reports. Got superintendent's report.
Mr. Ring, I have nothing to report this evening.
And the director's report is, if you like, is on board docs there. You can review that. And Dr. Walker is attending his son's graduation tonight, so he is not here. Solicitor's report. Principal report. Back to you, Joe.
I'd just like to bring your attention to the end of the school year. We honored our staff with service milestones, but also we brought back the 3 retirees from last year. And I really wanted to bring that to your attention because those people, just like our students last year, really didn't get recognized. Jane Boyd was an instructional aide. Mark Seifer, our metal fabrication teacher, and Dave Yanosco. They came back for the luncheon, received their clocks, and of course this year Tracy Masello retired. So again, I was really happy to have them in our midst. And that's all for my report. Sam, I just want to remind you before you leave tonight, if you could sign emergency instructional time template that needs to be signed and submitted when I get back, okay?
I think it's in my folder here, I think, right, Kat?
Thank you.
Emergency declaration. We'll make sure I do it before I leave. Otherwise, I'll come up and see you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Joe. Okay, the approval of report section.
I'll make it.
Rick Road,
All second.
any discussion?
Sam, on the director's report, is there any movement on the construction? I mean, I feel like I see the same thing every month that is in the inspector's hands.
Yeah, well, welcome to the world of BIU.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed. Paul, do you have any update? We're
I
supposed to
thought
have
we were
bid
supposed
opening.
to have bid opening here the first part of July.
Correct. And I think that's still the case. It was May 13th, I think, and then it went to June. It became apparent that they weren't gonna have that finished then. So Coughlin's suggestion was, let's just keep holding open. He notified everybody. So they're waiting. So
Meanwhile, the price tag goes up.
Well, actually.
good.
Actually,
Might be coming
you know
down.
what though, I will say, they're projecting prices to start coming down.
Actually, the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, we might not be at formal then.
I heard as soon as they,
Bid opening,
July 1,
July
as soon as
1.
they open up Canada.
2 o'clock, I believe. Let me check my calendar.
We have it,
Is that right, Paul?
I believe so.
July 1, 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m. We want to have our special meeting that night anyways.
ETS bid openings, 1400. Yep.
2 o'clock.
Yes.
You don't like 2 p.m.?
What day, what day do we?
July 1st.
That's Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
That's our night of our special meeting. Or July special meeting. Maybe?
4 o'clock.
No, not us. Us.
Oh, I don't think we're having, no, we're not scheduled for a meeting. Not till August.
I'm talking about us having a special meeting that night.
Not planning on it,
Okay.
not at this point. Any other discussion on that? We can call for vote, did we? No. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it takes us to supplemental reports and information. Don't think there's anything there we need to act on. Am I correct on that, Kat?
Right.
All right. Did we cover everything we needed to tonight? Yes,
Work going on around the facility over summer. Is there a lot of things going on? We're in good shape, though.
Yeah, we're in the process of summer cleaning right now, so we're taking apart the classrooms and redoing the floors and walls and everything, painting all the furniture, refinishing the floors and all that kind of stuff. We had several pieces of equipment that were purchased through different grants. And so we're installing that equipment in the labs now so that it'll be ready for when the students come back. And we have other ongoing projects, and of course, the roundabouts going on out there, so I'm coordinating with them on, what keeping the entrances open and things like that, so. So there's a lot going on, of course, there's grass cutting and normal maintenance going on for summer as well.
So major, big projects.
No, we're kind of waiting, there are things that need to get done, but I'm kind of waiting to see what happens with the bids, and then when those bids will be awarded. Like, I don't know when all that's happening. If you're not having a July meeting, I don't know what you're doing about awarding the bid. So I don't know what happens there. But if a lot of the stuff that people are requesting would be taken care of in the renovation, so I'm kind of like, I'm carrying two piles right now. One that is like, this will go to the renovation, and if the renovation doesn't happen, then do I do this? And where's the funding come from then? That kind of thing. So it's really kind of a juggling act right now.
Sounds like you got it in hand.
Okay, thanks.
well, just speaking on that a little bit more, what I would suggest our path forward is once we have bid opening, that'll answer a lot of questions. Are we in the ballpark or are we not? So once we have that answer, if we are in the ballpark, probably we'll reach out to Mill Creek and see and share that information right away with them. We have approval from all the other districts at this point to move forward. We can present that to Mill Creek. We have, I think, 60 days is what's written in to award the bids. So we don't need to do that in July. We could do that in August if we can.
Sam, BIU is going to be the wild card here. I mean, they're bidding on a set of drawings they have now. If BIU, and I don't know when the report is due, but that has to be done apparently until before we can open bids. I understand it.
Correct.
So they're not done by July 1st. I don't know if Chris is coordinating that at all.
Chris is, and I did not get a report before tonight, but I will.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to follow up.
And if they actually want to change something.
Right.
That's an issue.
That's why we've held things open, because if not, then you're going back to your change order. So his suggestion is just to stay open until we have that. I think it's 4 days. Once they put out and their recommendations, if there's any changes, that needs to be given to the contractors 4 days, and then we can have bid open or open bids and have them do. But I think that's what we're waiting.
I guess there might be another bid opening after July while this is all sorted out with the BIU and the changes. We certainly want to get them ahead of a change order, right? We want that part of the bid.
Correct.
As much as we can.
Right. BIU has to finish their work before we can open bids. That's what's been the delay since May.
Real quick question of Dell. Because the roundabout is going on, I know that we want to put those pylons or whatever we've decided to do. When will that start? Will that wait until this is done, or will that be ongoing through the summer?
Are you talking about like the decorative wall? That they
Yes.
want to put up? That hasn't been approved for going forward, it hasn't been funded yet, totally, so.
Okay.
They did, but it wasn't until cost of the wall. Right. Yeah, they threw a little bit more money at us in our agreement, but they didn't fund the whole thing. So that'll come back to us if we want to do something. Once we see what they have, I think that's the prudent time then to see what do we have there? What have they done? And then do we need to add something more? At
The
that
board never approved the wall.
Correct.
The negotiating,
We talked about it. I didn't know if that was something that we.
the negotiating posture.
If you were to do something like that, it would not happen until after the roundabout is completed, so you would have, you know about where you want to place it, and those kind of things.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions or anything to go the order? Motion to adjourn. A motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Great. All, everybody in favor, leave. All right. Early night.